And welcome back, and this is the Contenders Corner podcast on YouTube, guys. And this is a SmackDown live review. And yes, this was throwback SmackDown, so we are going to talk everything that is wrestling on YouTube. So yes, guys, if you're new to this channel, then please smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and also, guys, turn on those notifications. And we thank you very much for your ongoing support here on YouTube. Just, guys, let's move on to this because we got a lot to talk about, guys. We have a lot indeed to talk about. And it kicks off with the Universal Champion, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, kicking off the show on Throwback SmackDown. And the Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman and Jey Uso made their way to the ring to kick off the show. Heyman, the advocate for the Tribal Chief, he legalised the career of Daniel Bryan with a 10-bell salute. Reigns said he is a man of his word, having sent Bryan packing. Reigns said they got rid of Bryan in his place. They've got someone who certainly will acknowledge the champion. Jimmy Uso, the returning twin brother of Jey, embraced the men in the ring until Cesaro interrupted the proceedings. The Swiss Superman took exception to the idea of anyone replacing Bryan, drawing laughs from Reigns and a sneak attack from Seth Rollins. Teddy Long appeared on this special throwback episode of SmackDown and revealed that if Cesaro beats Seth Rollins, he will challenge Roman Reigns at WrestleMania Backlash. And again, guys, this opening segment, and to hear that if he would beat Seth Rollins, he would face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania Backlash. And again, the news from that lightened it up, and I'm going to give this an A rating for the start, guys. In a 4 out of 5 straight from the get-go. And the fact that Paul Heyman, doing the 10-bell salute himself, cracked Reigns in a pretty funny moment. And this stimulated the sickness of the Tribal Chief and Paul Heyman. And they did this very well indeed, to signify that sickness between the men. And then we go on to Ruby Riott and Carmella, guys. And the Riott Squad's Ruby Riott, accompanied by Liv Morgan, battled Carmella in a singles competition. Riott dominated the action, sending Carmella face first into a turnbuckle. Before utilising a modified urinage, Carmella answered with a big boot and roll up with a pop. While Pop propped on the ropes, Morgan alerted the referee, but she could not save the match for her tag team partner, who succumbed to the code of silent submission as Carmella earned the big win here. And this is a massive win for Carmella, who defeated Ruby Riott, and I'll give this a 3.5 out of 5. To be honest, guys, this was rushed. As much as it was a good match, it was rushed. And that was the only thing that's the only thing that disappointed me about this segment, really, guys. The fact that it was rushed. And they should have put a lot of thought and more time into this match to win people over. And then we have a tag team match. Dominic Mysterio versus Dolph Ziggler. And early in the afternoon, Rey and Dominic Mysterio versus Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode for the SmackDown Tag Team Champions was added to the WrestleMania Backlash card, much likely Bayley did with Bianca Belair moments earlier Ziggler entered the Thunderdome, accompanied by Tag Team Championship partner Robert Roode, and poked fun at the idea of Dominic Mysterio being a wrestler on the level of his father. Dominic laid down the gauntlet for a match, and the performers wasted little time getting things underway. After the 2 minute or two of in-ring action, Mysterio caught Ziggler with an inside cradle for the win. And again, it's Mysterio who defeats Ziggler here. And this next one, guys, I don't really want to talk about this next one, guys, because I don't know. It's just a waste of time. Tamina versus Reginald. The rivalry between women's tag team champions Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, and Natalya and Tamina continued this week as Tamina battled WWE's resident sommelier Reginald in an intergender singles bout. Reginald evaded his opponent, showing agility and athleticism before Tamina dropped him with a super kick. She scaled the ropes for the Superfly splash, but Baszler and Jax interfered, drawing the disqualification. Is Reginald going to be the new James Ellsworth? And again, guys, it was not particularly good at all. If only because the presence of Reginald and his eventual comeuppance are overshadowing what should be hard-hitting matches between champions and challengers. I'd rather have seen Tamina and Natalya go up against Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax again. It's not good at all, mate. Not good at all. It's just a waste of time. Waste of time here. And then we have the tag team, the 10-man tag team match. Intercontinental Champion Apollo Crews, King Corbin, Sami Zayn, Chad Gable and Otis battle Big E, Kevin Owens, Shinsuke Nakamura and the Street Profits. The heels worked over Montez Ford of the Profits before a hot tag sparked a huge brawl between the teams, leading to a chaotic battle entering the commercial break. After the timeout, Owens found himself on the defensive and at the mercy of the opposition. Crews teed off the prize fighter before KO delivered an inverted atomic drop and followed with a super kick. Owens added a heel kick to create the separation and make the tag of Nakamura. The artist reignited his feud with Zayn, rocking him with a big kick. The action broke down again and each competitor hitting their signature stuff just after Ford wiped out the opponents at ringside with one of his trademark dives. Corbin flattened Nakamura with End of Days to pick up the win. Crews, Corbin, Zayn, Gable and Otis defeat Big E, Owens, Nakamura and the Street Profits. And I'll give this a Contenders Corner match rating of 3 out of 5. And this was all action, a dynamic tag team match that highlighted some of the ongoing mid-card feuds without reverting to yet another Big E Crews showdown. And again, fantastic stuff, guys. It was worth the watch. And then we move on to Cesaro and Seth freaking Rollins. And again, guys, after a sneak attack prior to the match, saw Rollins and Cesaro shoulder first into the steel steps. The Swiss Superman found himself on the defensive early. He overcame the shoulder pain and a repeated attempt to take his knee out from under him to the level the architect with uppercuts and a clothesline that turned his opponent inside out. Rollins halted Cesaro's momentum, delivering a superplex and floating over into the Falcon Arrow for a near fall. Back from the timeout, Cesaro rocked Rollins with a double stump and scored a 2 count. Rollins earned one of his own. He then tried for the stump, but Cesaro caught him and tossed him on the top rope. Rollins looked for the sunset flip buckle bump, but Cesaro rebounded with a devastating clothesline. Rollins sent Cesaro to the floor and refused any resistance from the Usos, claiming he didn't need their help, unlike Reigns. Jimmy Uso rocked Rollins with a super kick, only for Cesaro to wipe him out at ringside with a planker. Back inside, the Swiss Cyborg delivered the neutralizer and pinned Rollins for the win. After the match, cameras caught a displeased Reigns watching from the locker room. And again, Cesaro defeats Seth freaking Rollins to be the number 1 contender at WrestleMania Backlash for an opportunity to face Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, for the Universal Championship. And again, Cesaro and Rollins just are not... Again, guys, this was fantastic, and this is one of the reasons why Cesaro should be Universal Champion, should be a champion, deserves to have this main event push, and he is a main eventer. Years and years and years he's worked his arse off, guys. He's produced some fantastic matches, and in the next part, guys, I am going to talk about Cesaro, 5 of his best tag team matches and 5 of his best singles matches, and I'm going to give the reason why, I'm going to give my reasons why WWE should put the belt on Cesaro. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see if Rollins finds himself in the crosshairs of the Usos and Reigns after the events that unfolded in this match. Given the lack of genuine main event talent on the babyface side, perhaps this is the gateway to a Rollins babyface turn and a showdown between the former Shield teammates. I hope that don't play out, guys. I hope that don't play out. But again, Cesaro, fantastic match, guys. I'm going to give this a Contenders Corner match rating again, 4.25 out of 5. It was absolute crazy. Absolute fucking crazy. And now, guys, what I'm going to do here is move on from here now. The show, I'm going to give it... Right. Let's talk real here. Let's talk real. Right, guys. So they announced a throwback SmackDown. Right? So a lot of people had high expectations of WWE bringing back an old stage, and this is what they should have done. They should have unleashed at least a retro stage, not some CGI crap that, you know what I mean, it's just graphics, pure graphics coming out from it. The Golden Era thing, it was unnecessary. I'm disappointed, guys. I'm disappointed. Disappointed in the fact that WWE did not get creative here, did not at least have some passion and desire to at least put on some crazy throwback SmackDown. Bring back an old SmackDown stage. It would have gone down unbelievably well. You know what I mean? I totally understand. Bring all the effort, bring in all the parts to where it was being held. But again, if somebody with some imaginative mind, with a clever head, would have thought, oh, let's bring back the fist. Let's put it, in action. Let's bring back the old stage. Let's bring back one of the old SmackDown stages. Even if they did not want to bring back the fist because it's too much effort putting it on for one show, they could have at least brought back the spiral stage. The oval stage. They could have brought that back. You know what I mean? The imaginative aspects of that throwback SmackDown was pure failure on WWE's part, and a lot of people, a lot of fans, millions of people across the globe had high expectations of WWE giving them an epic SmackDown, throwback SmackDown. They was expecting an old stage, not some CGI bollocks, not some CGI crap. You know what I mean? A couple of footers here and there coming across the screen, the fist coming out in CGI. It's failure, and that is one of the reasons why, guys, the rating of this show goes down to about a 3.5 rating. Because the Golden Era, there was no point in the Golden Era. They missed an opportunity to get fans back from who were moving to AEW, who were watching AEW. Old school fans. They could have pulled back old school fans on this night. But it is what it is. And then we move in why I think WWE should put the belt on Cesaro. And these are the reasons why, guys. Now, why I think he should be the next champion. He has been a wrestler, in my eyes, that's been underrated for a long time. Look at WrestleMania 37, for instance. He and Seth Rollins put on a slobber knocker of a match, while in my opinion was one of the best matches of night one of WrestleMania 37. We take his work with Sheamus. The Bar is one of the most formidable tag teams of the new era when they got involved in a storyline with each other. It was fascinating because both superstars were finally getting something to do after being in creative limbo for a few months at that time. It was the odd pairing storyline, and they had an incredible best of 7 series against each other, with it ending in a draw. Since they were paired by Mick Foley and gave them a championship opportunity at the tag titles, ever since then they remained as a tag team. Their dynamic was fascinating from the start. They were two polar opposite superstars who stood from something completely different from each other. And these are my top 5 matches of The Bar versus The New Day in 2018 on SmackDown Live. A fantastic match, and I'll give that an absolute 4.25 out of 5. The Bar versus the Usos Survivor Series 2017, another fantastic match, 4 out of 5. The Bar versus The New Day Roadblock End of the Line, another fantastic match, a 4.25 out of 5. The Bar versus The Miz, Braun Strowman, Kane versus Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose and Kurt Angle, Tables, Ladders and Chairs 2017, another fantastic match, 4 out of 5. The Bar versus Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, No Mercy 2017, fantastic, 4.5 out of 5. Unbelievable. And then Cesaro singles matches. The top 5 matches, singles. The top 5 single matches for Cesaro. WrestleMania 37, Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. Absolutely fantastic. They tore down that roof, man. There weren't a roof anyway, but literally they tore down that arena. It was unbelievable. And when Cesaro actually won that match, man, the fans were going. They gave him an absolute crazy pop, guys. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable match. And then we have Cesaro versus Seth Rollins, SmackDown, May 2021, for the opportunity to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania Backlash. And to be honest, man, Cesaro deserves this push. He deserves this push. This is another reason why Cesaro deserves to be main event. Why he deserves to have an opportunity to at least hold that Universal title. I'm not saying that Cesaro should be the man to beat Roman Reigns. What I'm saying is, guys, that even if he's not going to be the man to at least take down the Tribal Chief, beat the Tribal Chief, take the championship off Roman Reigns, then at least somewhere in the future he should be the face of the company. At least put that belt on him at least once. You know what I mean? Put that belt on him. He deserves it. Cesaro versus Roman Reigns, Raw, November 16th, 2015, and this ain't the first time that Cesaro and Roman Reigns have met in the ring. The match against Roman Reigns, Raw, November 16th, 2015, was one of the most important of Cesaro's character. Following Seth Rollins' injury, the WWE Championship was vacated and a tournament was revealed to crown a new champ. Cesaro and Reigns faced off in an important tournament match on Raw, with the winner moving on to Survivor Series. Everyone knew Reigns was winning, but the match was so good that fans started to believe in Cesaro, started to believe in the Swiss Superman. It proved that he could hang with the top stars in WWE, and he could be a main event star in the future. And to be honest, guys, 2015, November 16th, 2015, was the day Cesaro proved to the world that he could be a potential main event star in the future. And by God, he did. He did, and that was a fantastic match. Then we had Cesaro versus John Cena a year prior to that, guys, 2014. And if that weren't proof there, that he proved to the world that he could hang with top stars a year prior to that, guys, 2014, John Cena, Cesaro versus John Cena. Cesaro received the biggest push of his career in early 2014. The Elimination Chamber match with six top stars saw Cesaro getting to work with the main event picture in the build leading up to the match. Cesaro had great matches against Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan, but John Cena match stood out most. And again, fantastic match. 2014, February 2014, guys. Cesaro, John Cena, absolute crazy. We've seen Cesaro and Daniel Bryan. We've seen Cesaro and Randy Orton. He's hanged with the top stars, guys, and he's performed well with the likes of Randy Orton, with the likes of Daniel Bryan. Crazy, unbelievable. And if that's not proof there, then head down to NXT Arrival. You've got NXT Arrival. Cesaro versus Sami Zayn in NXT. The first live match to ever air on WWE Network was NXT Arrival show opener of Cesaro versus Sami Zayn. Both men already had a strong track record of great matches on NXT TV. This platform, however, gave them a bigger stage and more time to show their skills. Cesaro, Zayn had one of the best overall matches of 2014 and helped them win over many new fans to NXT. Even though he was already on the main roster, it felt like a breakout performance for Cesaro. Meanwhile, Zayn even came out looking great after the loss. And unbelievable. And you know what I mean? This was also proof, guys. This was also proof that Cesaro was a potential star in the making. And this is why WWE should put the belt on Cesaro in the future. And if he is not the guy to tear down the likes of Roman Reigns for that Universal title, then at least when it's over and done and the tribal chief is no longer, at least put the belt on Cesaro in the future. That's one of my reasons, guys, why Cesaro should be champion. He deserves it. He's been underrated for a long time. Even though he's hanged with some top guys in that ring, he deserves to be champion. He deserves to be champion. For a few months, for a year. I don't know, guys, but he deserves to be champion. Unbelievable.